What makes a country work? Is it the government that leads it, the ideology that defines it, or the power that keeps it all together? Welcome to Levels of Learning. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of political science, the study of power, governance, and the ideas that shape our societies. Let's begin by defining what political science even is. At its core, political science is the study of power, government, and how societies make collective decisions. It explores how power is divided, gained, maintained, and challenged, and how these decisions affect the lives of millions. It's not just about politics, it's about how human beings organize themselves, decide what's right or wrong, and shape the systems we follow every day. To better help understand what political science entails, we can break it down into three major ideas. First is power and authority. This is how power is gained, maintained, and challenged, like through elections, revolutions, economic dominance, or sometimes military coups. Secondly is the state of government, which are the systems that organize and control society. For example, there's democracies, monarchies, authoritarian regimes, and each uses power in a very different way. And thirdly, there are political ideologies. These are the beliefs that define how a society should work, from liberalism and conservatism to socialism, communism, and much more. These three forces of political science constantly interact, shaping nations, defining ideologies, and determining the direction of history. Now, before we talk about ideologies, we need to understand how countries are governed. Each nation operates under some form of governance, a structure that defines who has power and how it's used. Now, in a democracy, the people hold power. Citizens choose their leaders through free and fair elections, and those in power are accountable to the public. Laws, rights, and freedoms form the backbone of this system. Some examples being Canada, the United States, India, and Japan. Next, in an authoritarian system, power is concentrated in the hands of a single leader or small elite group. Elections, if they even exist, are tightly controlled. Speech is censored, and loyalty to the ruler often matters more than the law. Some examples being China, Russia, North Korea, and Saudi Arabia. Next is monarchy. This is when a royal family has the power within a society. Think kings, queens, or emperors, and power is passed down through hereditary succession. Two forms exist: absolute monarchy, where the royal family has total control, like in Saudi Arabia, and constitutional monarchy, where the monarch's role is mostly symbolic. Power rests with elected officials instead, like in the UK or Japan. Now, a republic is similar to a democracy. Citizens elect representatives, but there's no monarch. The main difference is democracy tends to focus more on majority rule and citizen participation, while a republic focuses more on protection of individual rights and equality under the law. Simply put, democracy is about who rules, and a republic is about how they rule. Some examples would be the United States, France, South Korea, and Brazil. Next is totalitarianism. These types of regimes take authoritarianism to the extreme. One leader or party controls every aspect of life, from the economy to media, even people's beliefs. Some examples would be Nazi Germany, Stalin's USSR, and North Korea today. In a theocracy, power comes from religious authority. Laws are based on sacred texts, and clergy often hold political power. Some examples would be Iran and Vatican City. So, now that we've explored the most popular systems of governance, let's explore how ideology defines the type of society that grows under them. Now, political ideologies shape not just governments, but entire societies. They decide who owns what, how wealth is shared, and what freedoms people have. Let's get into the major types of societies that dominate global politics. Communist society. The core idea is a classless and stateless society with no private property. Everything is owned collectively, and everyone contributes according to ability and receives according to need. Some examples would be the Soviet Union, Cuba, and North Korea. The governance type tends to usually be one party authoritarian states. Now, the pros: it aims for total equality and unity, And the cons is that in practice, it often leads to dictatorship and an inefficient society. If you'd like to learn more about how a communist society might work, go check out my What is Communism and Could It Work video, linked down below. Next, in capitalist society, the core idea is private ownership and competition. People and businesses own resources and operate for profit with minimal government interference. Some examples being the USA, Canada, and Australia. And governance types is often democratic or republican. Now, some of the pros are that it encourages innovation and efficiency. However, the cons are that it creates wealth inequality and oftentimes exploitation. In socialist society, the core idea is public welfare and equality. Major industries are state run or heavily regulated to ensure fairness and social support. Some examples being Sweden, Norway, Finland, and China. And governance is typically democratic or mixed of some sort. Now, the pros are that it reduces inequality and provides safety nets. However, cons are that it can limit competition and efficiency within society. Within liberal society, the core idea is individual freedom and equality of opportunity, focuses on personal rights, free speech, democracy, and the rule of the law. Some examples would be Canada, the US, and most of Europe. Governance is typically democratic, republic, or constitutional monarchies within these societies. Some pros are that it protects freedom and encourages progress. Some cons, however, is that it can lead to inequality if left unchecked. Now, conservative society's core idea is tradition, stability, and order, valuing family, religion, and nationality, preferring gradual change over sudden reform. Some examples would be Poland, Hungary, and the US under Reagan. And the governance types are typically democratic or mixed systems. Some pros would be promoting unity and moral stability. However, the cons are that it can resist necessary progress. This brings us to fascist society, where the core idea is national unity through total control and obedience, an ultra-nationalistic system that sacrifices personal freedom for collective strength. Some examples being Nazi Germany and fascist Italy. The governance is typically totalitarian dictatorship. Some pros that they claim is order and unity, and the cons that have been proven is oppression, war, and loss of freedom. Now we'll finish off with anarchist society. The core idea is freedom from all authority. It rejects all forms of hierarchy, government, capitalism, or religion, and believes in voluntary cooperation. Typically, when there's an anarchist society, it doesn't last long. Some pros would be maximum personal freedom and equality. However, the cons is that it's hard to maintain stability or coordination in the society. In each system, power operates differently. In democracies, power is gained through elections. In authoritarian regimes, through force or loyalty. In capitalist societies, economic power can shape political influence. While in socialist or communist societies, the state itself often becomes the main holder of power. No matter the form, power always finds a center. The key question is how much control it has and whether the people can challenge it. Political science helps us see beyond headlines and politics, teaches us how power is built, how it's lost, and how it shapes the world we live in. Whether it's democracy or dictatorship, capitalism or communism, each system reveals something about human nature and our constant struggle to balance freedom, order, and justice. Thanks for watching Levels of Learning. If you enjoyed this breakdown of political science, leave a like and subscribe for more deep dives into the ideas that shape our world.